I was about to move here. I was going to be serving in a missionary training school just outside of the city from Sanford, Florida. I was about to, I just sold my business and I was moving here. And I was like, I want to find like a church in the area to go to while I'm in this training program for like 6 months. But a church that is like heavy in the community, doing outreach because that was my passion. So I found this church on YouTube. Actually, I was just looking up churches and I started watching the YouTube videos that Tom made, like the early day vlogs that he was making, and I was like, man, like I really want to be a part of that. So my second day here, I came to a service, met a bunch of people. Some of the guys took me out for dinner, and I say dinner because it was lunch that turned into dinner. We were out for like 6 hours, just watching football, eating at a Mexican restaurant, and definitely like felt like the church like took me in like right away. Like the first day I was here, I like lay in my heart very heavy, like you're called to serve the inner city. Like, I wanted to go overseas and like serve as a missionary. That's what I was like going to school to do and stuff. But God made it very apparent, and I didn't know where I was gonna go, but I was like, I do know this church. Like, let me just see if they have anything open. So I actually dropped out the missionary training school a weekend. And I just told the director, I was like, look, like God is calling me to serve the inner city. I don't know where. Like, I don't know anybody besides like this one like crazy church I just found like a week ago. But I just know I'm supposed to serve the inner city. So that same day, I left the training school and I drove here and I talked with Pastor Tom and I was like, look, like, I moved here as a missionary. Like, I'm self-funded. I just want to serve like all the way. Like, kind of like force him to let me be on the team, but like not even like getting paid. Just I was like, let me just like do something. And a few days go by and he was like, hey, like, I want you to be like an intern here. So I started my internship the next week and I've been here ever since. Learning to evangelize. I think before, I don't know if this was just because of maybe like my upbringing or like, I don't know. I wouldn't say like the last church I grew up in like didn't tell us how or anything. But when I came here, I think I was just exposed to it more. I mean, I was out doing ministry every day. I mean, every week, just it was all we were doing. Being exposed to it and just thrown out into it, it's like you kind of have to just like pray, like, all right, Holy Spirit, like what do I say? Like, how do I tell these people about Jesus? How do I like effectively present the gospel to them? I used to really struggle with it because it's almost like I would have to see results to think like, okay, I'm doing a good job if I'm seeing results. But my mindset kind of shifted to like, no, we're actually just called to plant seeds of the gospel. Like, God is the one that brings that to harvest and brings that to fruition, and I'm just called to plant those seeds. And in my case, in my position, to lead my team out to plant as many seeds of the gospel as we can, to water those seeds when we see those people. So I think my mindset shifted from seeing results to just planting seeds. And then when it did that, I actually started seeing results, like without actually shooting to see the results. It really is true. Like, I've seen hundreds like give their life to Christ in the streets, at gas pumps when we do gas giveaway, or Thursday night when we're feeding people in homelessness, like them just giving their life to Christ. Or at Adopt the Block, we knock on people's doors and you pray with them and they're just like, I need this, whatever you guys have. To see that, I've seen people when we went homeless in the streets for a fundraiser and we would go to McDonald's and see people give us their crack pipes and say, I'm done with this. I want whatever you guys have, which is Jesus. It's just the gospel. To turn their lives around and see them like living it out today is the most rewarding thing. But also just it's crazy like the glory that God gets from that. So it's definitely been an honor to see that. I met my wife here and my now stepdaughter. One of my best friends here, his name's Rashawn. He kept telling me about this cousin that he had, and I was like, I don't want to hear it. But eventually I met her and honestly fell in love with her. I didn't waste any time. I put a ring on it, married her. We've been married now for about 4 months. We're about to hit actually a year together here soon, a year of total being together, not married. And with her came my beautiful stepdaughter. She's about to be 3. So that's been a wild journey. I didn't think that would happen this fast. I was like, I'm gonna move away and just serve in ministry and just do it and grind. But then came along. God really brought her along and has taught me a lot. Trying to learn how to be an effective like leader of a house, which I don't think I have yet. I'm nowhere near that. But also how to be a father, and that's a challenge too. I'm still learning that. But God really brought those 2 girls along and made my ride in this life even just full of more joy. So I get to really lead out all the outreach ministries. So that's like Thursday night outreach, adopt a block, summer teams when we have teams come and stay with us and do inner city missions work for like a week straight. I get to lead those teams out, and really all of our donations that come in, van routes to people when we pick them up to come to church, everything like that. I get to get the privilege to really take on and lead the team out and try to build up leaders underneath me, which I'm still learning because I feel like, I don't know, I'm very young because I'm still learning how to be a leader myself, but trying to build up leaders beneath me to do that kind of stuff. I have the word vessel tattooed on me because I really just wanted to I want to be a vessel for God's presence and for His glory. And you don't have to work at the church to do that, but I just felt like transitioning in my life, that was the role God had for me to all right, this is I want you to be like a vessel, every day, this is your job. I really want you to be a vessel. So I think that's my God dream, is to be an effective vessel of His presence, of His glory, to reach people exactly where they are, whether it's homeless in the streets, whether it's in their house, and we knock on their door every Saturday, wherever it's at. I just know I wanted to do that with my life, and I think that's my God dream.